And as I was saying that, I locked eyes with one of my granddaughters. And honestly, I get a little teary just even retelling it, because as I was saying these things, I locked eyes with her, and she's one of the younger ones. And it's like, as I looked into her eyes in that moment, I saw eyes that had never experienced that. I mean, I realized in that moment, I'm talking to people. I mean, they're believing everything that's coming out of Mimi's mouth.
Today's episode is sponsored by the She is Awakening Seasonal Journal. The She is Awakening Spring Journal is now available, and I couldn't wait to tell you about it. This journal offers a 13-week journey of reflection and transformation, perfectly timed with the season of renewal. Spring is all about new beginnings, and this journal is designed to help you blossom alongside nature. Each week guides you through thoughtful prompts and exercises that invite you to connect more deeply with yourself and your Creator. It's about awakening to your authentic purpose and embracing the life you were divinely designed for. What makes this journal truly special is how it creates intentional space for deepening your relationship with God. As you journey through these pages, you'll discover fresh ways to hear His voice and recognize His presence in your daily life. Whether you're feeling stuck or simply seeking more intentional growth, this journal creates space for meaningful transformation. It's not just about writing, it's about discovering who you are in relationship with your Creator. The She is Awakening Spring Journal is available now. Check out the link in the show notes to start your journey of renewal and transformation.
Hey, you. I am glad you're here today. And I hope that wherever your feet are today, wherever you live, that you are starting to see the signs of spring. Spring is springing up around here, and I'm not only seeing it with my eyes, but I'm feeling it. I am feeling spring awakening around me and within me. I'm feeling this pull that I want to be outside more because I love spring weather. It's so perfect. I don't know what it's like where you live, but here where I live, spring weather's perfect. It's not cold, but it's not hot yet. And it's just lovely. I love it. It's perfect. And I find myself wanting to spend more time in it because it is so perfect. And you know what else is perfect? You and your Creator's love and faithfulness to you is perfect. And that's what I want to talk about today. This thought is on my mind because I had the best example of this last week. I was able to witness the love, the pure and perfect love of God last week in such a beautiful way that I wanted to share it with you guys. It happened around me inviting my grandchildren over for a spring tea. As we were welcoming the official first day of spring last week, I thought, you know what? Let's do a spring tea. So I invited my grandchildren over, and originally I thought, okay, I'll set some stuff out on the dining room table where we normally eat. And I do have one little table for little ones, but we keep growing and expanding. So I need to get a bigger table or add to that one. So as I was thinking about setting things up on the dining room table, I thought, you know what? Instead of them having to get up in the big chairs and get on their knees, I want to create something on their level. So I moved to a different area, and I used coffee tables and end tables and put white tablecloths over that, and just created this spring tablescape with flowers and seeds and croissants and tea. We had a little teacup set out. I had a little note for each grandchild, and we just had so much fun. They cracked me up with being so excited about opening up their little tea bags and putting them into the mug, the little teacups. And I had like a little teacup that actually filled with lemonade, and instead of hot water, that they had so much fun. They got to pour it themselves into the thing. So fun watching them have fun with that. But like I said, we had a little croissant sandwiches and some fruit, and we just had so much fun. And I picked up some plants, and there was like 2 different colors. And so they had fun getting to choose which color plant that they wanted to plant down in this potting container that then they could take home and plant at their house or do whatever they wanted to do with it. So they definitely had an opinion about what color they wanted. They each were very adamant about getting the color they wanted, and it was so cute, them picking out the color. So after we did the planning, we'd come back inside. So at one point in the tea, I was talking to them about seeds and how, each of them was uniquely created and designed by God, their creator, and they have seeds within them that as they grow are going to grow and blossom and bring forth, such beauty and goodness in the world with the way God has wired them and the gifts and the talents and the different things that he's placed within them that will image him in the world and just bring such goodness and grace to the world. And as I'm talking, I'm moving through the crowd, the grandchildren crowd. My eyes are moving as I'm sharing that. I'm looking each of them in the eye, and we're talking. And as children do, it's so fun that they're interjecting their thoughts and are asking a question. And so it was just a sweet time. And so then I started talking about how, when I was talking about that we're all unique and how God's designed us uniquely, I started talking about how we can then sometimes have the tendency to compare ourselves. So just like with the flowers, we might think, oh, well, look how that flower's blooming, and I like that. Why can't I be like that? And how that can be a natural tendency we have, but how we need, we need to be confident in how we're growing and how God's designed us and our flourishing. And as I was saying that, I locked eyes with one of my granddaughters, and honestly, I get a little teary just even retelling it, because as I was saying these things, I locked eyes with her, and she's one of the younger ones. And it's like, as I looked into her eyes in that moment, I saw eyes that had never experienced that. I mean, I realized in that moment, I'm talking to people. I mean, they're believing everything that's coming out of Mimi's mouth. I just saw such innocence and purity, and how everything I was saying, she believed with all her heart, and she knew and believed that to be true because she hears it from her parents. And she's surrounded by this message, and she believes it. Those eyes weren't struggling to believe what I was saying. She believed it. And it was just so powerful in that moment to realize that I'm looking into eyes that haven't yet felt that sting of comparison and that tension and that struggle of comparison. She hasn't arrived at an age where she has compared her body parts or her personality to someone else. She hasn't felt the weight of not measuring up or fitting in to a group or being accepted by a friend. And I realized that it's a lot more common for me to be talking and sharing with people where when I'm looking in their eyes, I can see the struggle to believe what I'm saying, like the longing to want that to be true and to believe that and to stand and walk in that fully. But yet there's this struggle and tension to fully believe that and to stand in that. And I thought, oh, I want to take this moment. And it's like, I never want you guys to doubt and to question that you were wanted and your creator designed and purposed you. And, I never want you to lose this innocence and this trust and pure faith and belief that they are fearfully and wonderfully made by the hands of God, their creator. And they were knit together in their mother's womb with purpose and intention. But here's one thing I know to be true. That's true for my grandchildren, and it's true for you. And that's why I wanted to share it today. That even if there's been struggle in believing the plans and the purposes that God has uniquely for you. Yes, there is a corporate vision and purpose for mankind, but your God created you with such detail and precision and intention that there is something that you bring to the world that will never be exactly like anybody else. And that's beautiful and that's needed. And that even when we struggle with walking and standing fully in that, there is a God that continues to draw us to him. His faithfulness and his love is just so never ending. And as we continue to surrender to growth in our life, God is so faithful to develop those things that were planted and instilled in us from the start. So here's your reminder today. Keep growing to become that beautiful, unique person that God had in mind from the start, because that's who you are. As I looked at my grandchildren in that room, I'm like, they're so close to that original intention at a young age, so much more in tune with their natural desires and personality. Who are you? How did God wire you and make you? What lights you up? What makes you come alive? And if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know, I don't even remember, get still and allow the Spirit of God to awaken who you are. And I pray he does that in this season. And you know what? Maybe you need some watering in your life. Maybe you need some weeding, but you are so loved. And how God wired and designed you to flourish and to thrive and to image our Creator in the world is so needed. So I'm cheering you on in all of the things that God has for you. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And we'll talk soon.
Hey there, beautiful soul. Can I be honest with you for a minute? Spring is here, and while nature seems to know exactly how to burst into new life, sometimes we need a little help with our own renewal. That feeling of being stuck in winter mode when everything around you is blooming? Yeah, I've been there too. That's why I created something special just for you. And it's a completely free guide called 20 Ways to Bloom This Spring, Your Journey to Growth and Renewal. Now, this isn't just another checklist of generic self-care tips. This is a soul-centered collection of practical ways to connect more deeply with God during this season of new beginnings, create meaningful rituals that ground you in what matters, find sacred moments in your everyday life, let go of what's holding you back from flourishing into who you were created to be. Inside, you'll discover simple but powerful practices like barefoot prayers, the forgiveness experiment, and the 60-second reset that can transform ordinary moments into opportunities for spiritual growth. One of my personal favorites is number 19, 3-line wonders. It's a daily practice that helps you notice God's fingerprints in the world around you. When I started doing this practice, it completely shifted how I moved through my days. This guide, it speaks to you like a friend. No religious jargon, no complicated routines, just real talk about growing alongside the spring flowers. Ready to bloom where you're planted this season? Just click the link in the show notes to sign up, and I will send you this beautiful guide straight to your inbox. It's my gift to you as we journey together through this season of growth.